That seems
Welcome.
extreme.
Oh my God, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Here to talk
Hot
about
damn.
football.
Hug it, chug it, football.
Football!
Hey! It's been a solid week in sports. You know what I mean? It's been decent. He's he's screaming over there. He's screaming over there. You gotta love him. So we got a banger for you guys today. As we decided, as much as we love doing
Well,
the
we're talking about
sidecast.
college football over here, so I'm
Okay,
sorry.
gotcha. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. We decided as much as we love doing the sidecasts, which we do, we wanted to do a little more. We figured we would do some kind of weekly show where we talked about sports, talked about things going around the sporting world, not just the play-by-play that you guys get from us every week. So we are set. We are ready to talk about the NFL this week. As I'm joined, as always, you can't see him on the screen. We decided for the weekly podcast, we'll split each other up, give ourselves a little bit more screen room. But I do give him credit. He's up there right above my head. It's the BJ Bjorn, as he's officially called, the voice of the Griddle Show over on Twitch. Be sure to drop him a follow if you haven't already. And as soon as he's ready, we're gonna hop into it. Hope everybody's having a good week. Hope everybody's ready for a solid New Year's Eve. For those who watched Thursday Night Football, I think we saw more of the same from both those organizations, with Flacco and the Browns getting the win over whoever the hell the Jets pull out of a hat at quarterback, and that defense that honestly is let down by their offense every week, every week, every week. How's the college talk going?
It's excellent. I wish you could have been a part of it.
Oh man, I just missed out. I just missed out. Who's it? Killer over there talking college?
We're going back and forth between college and NFL.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, let's start talking about the NFL.
Indeed, let's start talking about
Let's
the
talk
NFL.
it.
Where do you want to start off, buddy?
Let's start off with MVP because I think this is
MVP.
it's a conversation that's starting to heat up. It really is, and it's
I
deeper.
don't know. I don't
It's
know.
deeper, I
We'll have
think.
to
Than
see.
who do
We'll
you have?
see. Winning MVP.
Yeah. If you had to pick it today,
Well, if I had to pick today, I'm honestly okay. Am I going with the smart option or am I going with the what I feel in my heart?
I feel like you just go with what you feel in your heart. Go with what you feel in your heart. Feel in your plums.
Tyreek Hill.
I actually really like that answer, and you probably think I didn't because you know how big of a Lamar Jackson guy I
Well,
am. But I
Dick
think it's
Ryder. Yep.
honest.
Something
I
like
think it's
that.
the right. All right, okay, that was a little much. That's a little much, but I think it's the smart answer. I really do. I think Tyreek Hill deserves to be it. I think Christian McCaffrey, the case needs to be made for it. I think if there was ever a year that a quarterback probably shouldn't win it, it'd be this year because none of them have impressed
Yeah.
me.
Well, yeah, like you said, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill. There's a few others that aren't as I would say. I mean, okay, deserving is not a very good answer, but I would say qualified.
Yeah.
I'd
I
say
mean,
Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey are definitely the most qualified to earn the MVP.
yeah, I agree.
And Killer Smoking Crack, he said Taysom Hill MVP all day.
Dude, Taysom Hill needs to learn how to just get the starting quarterback job first, so you guys can get rid of Derek Carr.
That
And
is also true.
And then we can talk about MVP. I agree with you. If I'm being honest, I think Lamar's going to get it, and it's gonna have a bitter taste in my mouth because I love him. I love Lamar, but at the same time, and I know it's a quarterback driven league, but that doesn't necessarily mean the quarterback has to win MVP every year. They just don't.
I've been a firm believer of this. I actually almost got in a knockdown drag out with my father about it during Christmas.
Okay.
I said that I was like, so who do you have for MVP? He said, obviously, I think Lamar Jackson's probably going to win it. I said, I think it should be Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill. He said, it's got to be a quarterback. They touch the ball every play. They're the ones who change the game for that team. I said, that's absolutely not true. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, if you go back a few weeks ago when Tyreek Hill got hurt and missed 2 quarters, that team offensive was totally different. Tyreek Hill changes the dynamic for the Dolphins. And he's like, well, who's going to throw him the ball? If Tua's not there, he's not that great.
Well,
it's a bunch of hogwash, bro. Hogwash. If you're going by statistics, the quarterback's going to get all the fucking statistics for passing because he's the only goddamn quarterback.
Yeah. No. Right. Yeah. For me, it's like if you're going to just give it to a quarterback, just rename the award. Just rename.
I'm a firm believer they need to have a stats adjustments. That's a hot take. Stats adjustments. Wide receivers should get catches. They should have targets, receptions, and drops.
Okay.
Yards, and then yards after catch. And quarterbacks should have attempts, completions, and the passing yards should stop where the wide receiver catches the ball.
I agree with you. I'm actually on board with this. I think that's a great idea because I'm tired of guys catching a 3-yard slant route and then taking it to the house and people act like the quarterback did amazing. For example, like last night, don't get me wrong, great play by Joe Flacco, right? Where he gets smacked in the helmet, rolls out of the pocket, throws the pass to Jerome Ford. But that's only like a 10-yard pass. Jerome Ford comes up with the other 40 yards and gets his ass into the end zone. But everybody was talking about how great Flacco is, which he did great. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying that Jerome Ford deserves a lot of the credit for there. I mean, that's if we're slicing up the pie, Joe Flacco should have probably only got complete.
You know what's crazy? Go
ahead.
Is if they chopped up new
if they cut off the yards based on where the
no. Contracts, them getting paid. If they cut up the contracts or all new contracts today after that game, Joe Flacco would get hella more money than Jerome Ford. And I think if they made these stat changes, running backs would get paid more because then it shifts the dynamic for the football team.
Yeah. No, I agree. There would be a way more level playing field. I have people all the time who I hear talk about how, we get the quarterback's the highest paid guy in the league, touches the bar to play, but there's so many other guys on the field that don't get credit. I know you played offensive line. I played offensive line. Only time you hear about an offensive lineman is that they fuck up or they got a podcast. That's the only time you hear about them.
That's true.
And it's sad because I don't care who you got back there, quarterback. If you ain't got offensive line, you ain't moving the ball for dick.
Right. Absolutely.
So in the end, I'll say I think Lamar's going to get it just because he's the quarterback. But I do agree. I think Tyreek Hill or Chris McCaffrey, in my opinion, are ahead of him as far as deserving the award. Especially Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill's won, to your point. He's done something, or he's on pace to do something no wide receiver's ever done.
Over 2,000 yards receiving.
Yeah.
No one's
never
season.
Been done.
Absolutely insane.
And we're just going to brush it off. So, I don't like it. I don't like it.
But, like you said, if I'm going with my brain, I'm going Lamar Jackson. But if I'm going with my heart, I'm saying Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I'm the same.
MVP.
I'm right there with you. Moving on. Playoffs. Playoffs.
We're already at the playoffs.
We are literally 2 weeks away, BJ. We are 2 weeks away from the playoffs, and it's
we need to slow down time. That means football's going to be over soon.
I know it's going to break my heart. But who do you have? If you give me one team in the AFC and you give me one team in the NFC, who do you have playing each other in the Super Bowl as it stands today?
All right, as it stands today.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm going to say the Ravens.
Okay.
The Ravens and the 49ers, I would say.
Okay.
Right now.
A rematch of what we saw Monday night?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Obviously, I like that.
Killa says Saints versus Ravens.
Saints have a shot. They technically have a shot. All you have to do is get into the dance. All you have to do is get into the dance and anything can happen. I'm going to have a hot take here.
Okay.
I think San Francisco is great, and I feel like they should be the team in the NFC. I don't think they're going to be. I
What do you
think
think?
I think based on the way this team is developed, getting a little healthier on the defensive side of the football, they are a ground and pound type team. I'm going to take the Lions in the NFC. I really am.
Ooh, that's
They
a good
like
pick.
they like
What
to
if, dude?
punch
Call
people in
me
the mouth.
crazy.
Go ahead.
What if it's Browns and Lions?
I'll be honest. In the AFC, the only team that scares me is the Browns. As a Ravens fan, the only team that scares me is the Browns because we've seen it time and time again, right, BJ? We've seen it time and time again. It's not necessarily the best team; it's the hottest team. And
Oh
I
yeah,
love.
dude.
And the only
And
team
they
that you can
are.
make a case that's hotter than the Baltimore Ravens is the Cleveland Browns. All these other teams are struggling. Like the Colts have been decent; they're okay. The Chiefs are fucking imploding. The Dolphins are decent; they're not great. The Jaguars are barely going to crawl into the playoffs. Um, I really think the Ravens are the hottest team, and right behind them, nipping at their heels, is the Cleveland Browns.
Boy, and I'm talking about nipping, dude.
Yeah, they
After
are.
last night's game,
They're
that was
nipping.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Um.
All right, Justin, I got to ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
All right, how can a Ravens fan root for a Flacco when he's playing for a rival that you could possibly see in the playoffs?
Well, I'll be honest with you, BJ. I feel like it's the same vibe, right? It's the same vibe of you break up with a chick, and you guys go your separate ways, and then you see her in a supermarket a few years later. She's got herself a new man, and you pretend to be happy with her. You pretend to be happy for her. But deep
Mm-hmm.
down, secretly, you hope this dude cheats on her because you know, like, you just don't want her to be happier than you are. And it's the
Okay.
same thing. I as a Ravens fan, I'm happy for him, but I can't root for him. And it's hard
All right.
because
Fair.
it's like it's I love my team over a player, but he gave me some great memories. It's just one of those things I don't know how, because there's a ton of people here in Baltimore that are rooting
Mm-hmm.
for this guy, and it's like this could be the guy that prevents us from going to the Super Bowl. I love him and all, but fuck him. It's gonna be about us.
That's tough, dude.
You know
That's
what I mean?
tough.
It's one of
But
those things. It's so
you can't
frustrating.
not like Joe Flacco right now. You
Well,
can't not like him.
Flacco has had. I think he's comeback player of the year, hands down. Right? I think it's safe to say he's back.
I think some people would argue against that. Say DeMar Hamlin.
First off, what has DeMar Hamlin done except not die?
That's one hell of a comeback. Almost dying to coming back and playing. That's
Yeah, but
crazy.
if you don't do anything, I can fucking almost die and just stand on a field and not do shit. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't accomplished jack shit except for not dying.
The way you say that just sounds terrible.
That. I'm just saying he hasn't done anything.
Sound like a complete dickhead.
Like, let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this. If a quarterback went in for a few plays last year, got absolutely fucked up, we cart him off the field, they think he's gonna die, yada, and then the rest of the next season he comes back, but all he does is stand on the sideline and hold a clipboard, would you give him comeback player of the year? Because that's the equivalent of what DeMar Hamlin's done. He has done the definition of jack shit.
Okay, all right.
And let's be honest, if he gets it, he should just take that award, turn and hand it to the damn training staff that kept his ass alive.
That's fair. Okay.
It's not like fucking from the depths of hell he fucking resurrected himself. They kept his ass alive.
But I think we can all agree that the Browns head coach is going to win head coach of the year.
Probably. No.
I mean, they've gone through some pretty crazy injuries. They've gone through 4 different quarterbacks, Nick Chubb, several others, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, and they just keep finding a way to win.
That's true.
They were 7-5, and now they're 11-5. Justin, I don't think you can argue against the fact that head coach is finding ways to win, and that's exactly who you would want to win the head coach of the year.
I feel like we're forgetting one gentleman though, who's taken a franchise.
Dan Campbell, absolutely correct.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely right.
I mean, you make a valid point because Kevin Stefanski, without a doubt, has definitely taken that team and had to go through a lot of adversity. First team to clinch a playoff spot while starting 4 quarterbacks in the same season. They've had to go through a lot. However, the Lions have never won that division. Never.
That's true. Yep.
Which is the craziest stat I've ever heard.
If they do, then I would agree. I guess it just depends who makes it further in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I get what you're saying when it comes to Stefanski, but Dan Campbell, what he's done in Detroit, I mean, it's been pretty special.
What are we talking about? Hold on, Justin. Stefanski's literally doing the same thing. They haven't made a fucking playoff in almost 20 years.
No. They made the playoffs in 2020. They made the playoffs in 2020. Did they suck?
One time.
Yes.
One time, dude. One time. And you're going to take that away from Stefanski because of Dan Campbell's doing the same exact thing.
He's not. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
He hasn't gone through the adversity. He hasn't gone through the injuries. That makes absolutely no sense. No sense whatsoever.
The last time the Lions had an 11-win season, black people weren't even allowed in restaurants. That's fucking crazy that you'd say this right now.
No, bro. No. Nah. They both have never won a Super Bowl, Justin. Never won a Super Bowl. They've both sucked ass since they've started being a team. It could literally be a flip of a coin at this point. Or they could co-own the award. I'll tell you what. Whoever wins the if they both go to Super Bowl, whoever wins the Super Bowl wins the fucking award.
I will concede and say that's the only logical explanation, or the logical, I guess you'd say, agreement to come to. Oh, meet you in the middle. Whoever goes deeper in the playoffs deserves it.
Okay, all right.
Because the Lions are right there. I mean, there's nothing that the Browns are doing the Lions aren't doing. The only case you're making is they had injuries.
They had injuries, Justin. What do you mean? If the Baltimore Ravens had as many injuries as the Browns, you would be using that as an excuse if you sucked ass this year, Justin.
I wasn't allowed to use it as an excuse last year when fucking Lamar Jackson missed the playoffs, so I guess no one else is allowed to.
Insane. That's absolutely insane. You could use that as a fucking excuse. You can, but he's not. He's choosing not to, and they're fucking going to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs, and they're doing their fucking thing with a hell of a lot less. They're on their fucking fifth-string offensive lineman, Justin. They are falling the fuck apart, and they're still finding a way to win games. That's damn good coaching.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that the Lions have a longer history of sucking than the Browns do. So you're saying your tiebreaker is injuries. I'm saying my tiebreaker is a longer franchise. No. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
But you're right. They have.
Wait, the Lions have almost or have been in a Super Bowl before?
The Lions
with Barry Sanders.
Lions made the playoffs one time. Barry Sanders' rookie year. That's it. That's the last time the Lions were relevant, and they never went back. And everything around them went to shit. I watched the documentary on Prime. I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, we watched the documentary, everybody.
Jeff Bezos doesn't lie, dog.
You thinking a billionaire wouldn't lie to your face is absolutely cute. You know that?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyway, I think if whoever makes it further in the playoffs, that's whose head coach should win the award.
That's a fair compromise. For
Keeping it rolling with the Browns, let's talk about Flacco. And do the Browns have a shot?
They have a shot. Like I said, they have a shot because they are, like I said, they are one of the hottest teams in football. If you're putting together a graph that said, who are the hottest teams in football, Flacco and the Browns are right behind the Ravens in my book. They're right behind them. You know,
some would say they're even.
Well, the Ravens have won 7 in a row compared to the Browns is 5, so I would give the Ravens the edge. But yeah, you can make the case.
I don't know if that's fair.
I think it's fair. The Ravens have beaten teams
with a winning record. The Ravens beat the Browns once. The Browns beat the Ravens once.
That is true. But I'm not talking about who's the better team. I'm talking about who's the hottest team right now.
That would be the Browns.
That would be the Ravens.
Potato. Y'all are both in the same little shitty area of America. Wow. But we're talking about Flacco. Joe Footsteps Flacco. Absolutely Footsteps? Insane. That's his new nickname, apparently, from Pat McAfee's show. All right. They're calling him Joe Footsteps Flacco.
That's what they called Keanu Reeves' character in Replacements. Shane Footsteps Falco. And it wasn't an insult, by the way. It wasn't even a compliment of a nickname. It was that he heard footsteps, so he got rid of the ball fucking too quickly.
Right, but I mean,
God damn it, Pat! Don't insult Joe like
anyway,
that.
he's not They're not insulting him. They asked.
Like
they were on a live video with him today on his show.
Yeah,
talking with Joe Flacco and asking about nicknames and what he thought of some of them. And Joe Flacco liked the footsteps one the best so far, and he said you'd have to talk to Njoku about what nicknames he has in the locker room.
We're talking about David Njoku, a specimen of a human being.
A specimen.
This is going to sound a little sus, but like, I wonder who's more ripped, Njoku or Metcalf? Because there's a case. I see him like coming out of the tunnel with like half the crop top type thing going on. I'm like, dude, homie's ripped.
Yeah, he is ripped. He is. We're not talking about sus things with the ruffled feathers right now. We're talking about the Browns as a whole unit and Flacco. Yeah. Well, let's call him Falco.
Flacco's doing his thing. You know what I mean? He's not afraid to push the ball downfield. He's going to take shots. He still, to this day, throws one of the most beautiful balls that I've ever seen a quarterback throw, for sure. But
absolutely,
I'm gonna push back a little bit, just so it needs. I feel like it needs to be said. I'm not trying to take anything away from Flacco and the Browns, but who are they beating? That for me is the difference.
They beat y'all.
That's true. Flacco didn't.
If you want to go off of that, that doesn't. I mean, they did it with Deshaun Watson, who is not as good of a quarterback as Joe Flacco. So imagine how much of an ass whooping more would have been if Joe Flacco was the quarterback. You're welcome.
No, Flacco. It's not. It's not even the same thing. Not even close to the same thing. Not even close to the same thing.
What do you mean? That's not even. What do you mean? What do you mean? That's not even close to the same thing.
Just because
same team, different quarterback.
Okay. All right, we're gonna find out because Joe's coming here to Baltimore in the AFC Championship game. That's who I got in the AFC Championship game. It's Flacco coming to Baltimore, and Flacco's going to throw a couple picks for old time's sake. He's going to get that ass handed to him.
I know he's not catching them. I'll tell you, he's not going to catch them interceptions.
Who?
Humphrey's lazy ass.
Well, Kyle Hamilton will.
If he's healthy.
God bless that knee. All I'm saying is, BJ, you look at the 4 teams that they've beaten, right? They've beaten 4 teams in a row. None of those teams would you be like, oh my goodness, they really stuck it to a really good team. Jaguars are on their last leg. I don't know what the hell's up with Trevor Lawrence so far the second half of this year. It's been awful to watch. The Bears are awful. The Texans without C.J. Stroud, and then the Jets last night.
All right.
That's not
okay. So who have you beaten? Who have you beaten this year?
Well, the Ravens have 7 wins. With their winning, the opponent has a winning record that they've won by 14 or more points. If you're not going to sit here and say it's not impressive, all right. You're talking about the last 4? You just look at the last 4, or you go like the big wins.
Pick a team.
Okay, we beat the 49ers. Best
win. Best win you've had this year.
Well, I'll say
personally, like which team you think was the tough going into it? You were the most nervous playing it.
San Francisco.
Okay, the Browns beat the San Francisco 49ers this year.
They did. I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying we beat San Francisco 33-19. We beat everybody said the Lions were going to come to Baltimore and beat the shit out of us. We beat them 38-6. They say the same thing about Seattle. We beat them 37-3. Time and time again, teams they keep saying these teams are going to come into Baltimore or these teams are going to play Baltimore Ravens, and they always pick the other team, and the Ravens have come back just as strong, if not stronger, every single time. They didn't just beat these teams; they laid an ass whooping on these teams.
All right, okay, I would agree. I've watched all of the Ravens games this year. I can confirm that much.
In my opinion, I think the only team that could beat the Ravens is the Ravens.
So, did you say the only people that could beat the Ravens is the Ravens?
Is the Ravens, yeah. And the Ravens can do that. They've done it a few times this year.
Remind me, what was that game where you were up and they came back and beat you this year?
Cleveland? Yeah. I'm not saying... and the Colts. And who else did we lose to? The third
Cardinals. Team. Or no, almost lost to the Cardinals. Almost lost to the Cardinals.
It was... Fuck. It was the Steelers. Those are 3 teams we
The
lost to.
Steelers, yeah.
And neither one of those games was I like comfortable because we didn't have that good of a lead, but at the same time you got to finish games. Now,
Hear
I
me
can
out.
say
Just hear
this.
me out for a second.
Go ahead.
Hang with me, baby. Just hold on 1 second. Hang with me, okay?
All right.
After watching the Ravens play last week,
Yeah.
and watching the Browns play yesterday,
Yeah.
you cannot sit there and tell me that the Browns defense looked like they just fucking wanted it more.
Well, the Browns have a great defense.
Right.
But so do we. But so does San Francisco. So,
Okay.
like, what I'm saying is, like, was it an impressive win for the Browns? Yes, but they beat the Jets. The Ravens did the same thing, but to the San Francisco 49ers, who everyone said is the best team in the NFL, head and shoulders above everybody else. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why I think the top 4 teams right now are still San Francisco, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Detroit. I'll take those 4 over everybody else at this point.
Say that list again.
San Francisco, Baltimore,
okay,
Cleveland, and Detroit. Not necessarily in that order. Just those are the top 4, in my opinion.
That would be my list as well.
Yeah,
that would be my list as well as of right now.
I think the Eagles are having some struggles. They'd be like the next one down if I had to keep going, but they just don't look the same. They just don't. Jalen Hurts does not look like the same guy we saw for the first half of the year. And the Chiefs, they're in shambles. That I've never seen a team just turn on each other so quickly. And I guess that'd be a good time to segue to the next part. Is Patrick Mahomes? Is he a crybaby? Has the tides turned in Kansas City? Because I'll tell you what, I've never seen a guy. We've seen outbursts, right, on the sideline. People get frustrated. People throw shit. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a guy do it so many weeks in a row to so many different groups of players on his own team.
Justin, he's a human being. He's a human being.
Yeah, but
we all have our faults.
I get what you're saying, but we're talking about a guy. I'm sorry, I can't give him a pass for this because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have had every little thing go their fucking way for close to a decade. But now that things aren't, he just wants to bitch and moan on the sideline. And there's one group that you don't fucking bitch and moan at, and that's your goddamn offensive line. And the moment he fucking turned on them, I'll tell you what, I'm surprised they didn't just let his ass get fucking folded. He's bitching and moaning to the wrong people. Not everybody's going to catch the ball. Finally, you have lesser talent than you used to have. Get over it, dude. Make shit happen.
I don't know why we're acting surprised about this. I called this out at the beginning of the year. I think it was like 3rd or 4th week into the season. I made a comment about how all the wide receivers for the Chiefs suck, and the only person they have is Travis Kelce. You shut down Travis Kelce, you shut down the Chiefs. Am I right or wrong? I called that shit.
Oh, yeah. You're right, because if you can look at the roster, you were 100% correct. But that's exactly how that roster is built.
Now, as a crybaby, yes. Is Patrick Mahomes crybaby? Yeah. Now, but he's not bad-mouthing anybody in pressers or anything like that.
Well, the referees.
Oh, fuck, dude. Everybody wants to. And that was at the end of the day. They just lost, or they lost that game. Yeah, didn't they? Yeah, because offsides.
They called a penalty that happened. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah, it happened. It happened. You can't say it didn't happen. It's they're cracking down on it this year. Kadarius Toney didn't look over. What more can you say? Does it suck? It ruined probably one of the best plays in NFL history. Yeah, that sucks, dude. But it happened. Got to bounce back from it. And bad mouthing the refs, I honestly feel like in their post game interviews, they should be able to bad mouth the refs without fear of getting fined or anything like that.
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, these motherfuckers are not politicians.
Yeah.
They are not running for office. They're not running to be the sheriff of your town. They are fucking entertainers. Let them entertain.
I agree. I agree with that point.
Why are we fining people? Stop acting like the NFL is just so far above everything else. At the end of the day, you're basically B-tier movie actors playing a child's game on television.
No, I agree with that part of it. I agree with that part of it. For me, it's the It's the obvious on the field calling out your teammates type of shit. Like there's a way to do it, and he's doing
but
it the
Peyton Manning
wrong
did
way.
it.
Correct. You're right.
You're gonna take it away from what Peyton Manning did? Look, it's just one off year. Off year, they completely dump off their wide receivers, rebuild that shit. I'm sure the Chiefs will be back in it. He's a crybaby. He needs to calm down. I agree with that. But it's an off year. And the fact that he can't accept that they're having an off year, it's kind of crazy. I agree.
He just needs to suck it up and just needs to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You're right. They don't have the wide receivers they once had. It is what it is. But you know what? Adjust. Every team has to adjust. You don't think that there have been other quarterbacks that have had seasons where they were like, dude, who the fuck is out there catching balls for this guy? It happens. Tom Brady at one point had Deion Branch was his best receiver. He also was a corner on the team. Tom Brady didn't bitch and moan. He made shit happen. You have to change the way you play the game of football. There's just a right way and a wrong way of doing things, and I think my problem isn't that he's doing it. It's the problem he's doing it so many weeks in a row. It's almost becoming like, all right, who we're gonna catch him screaming at next? And it's hard to fight the other team when you're fucking fighting each other.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Time to suck it up, Patrick.
Yeah,
suck
dude,
it up.
Get it together, dude. Your wife's like best friends with Taylor Swift. You can get over it.
Shake it off.
All right, next up, let's talk about a record that people are talking about. Jalen Hurts broke the single season rushing record for a quarterback for touchdowns.
Congratulations, Justin.
Yeah. Does he deserve to be celebrated for it?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Can we just say this? Maybe we should give it to him.
Earned it.
And maybe we should. Did he?
He earned it. I mean, yeah, he did.
I'm not even sure if he actually.
His fucking body went across the goal line and scored.
No. His fucking body went across the line. His fucking body was pushed across the line by other men. Because that's all they fucking do. Shut up. The dude didn't even do it himself. He gets pushed by 12 guys, and we wonder why we're like, oh, hell, no shit, he fucking got the fucking rushing record. He broke Cam Newton's rushing record. At least Cam Newton did it on his fucking own.
And so did Jalen Hurts.
No, he did not. You can't say... Dude,
I mean...
We've all seen the videos of the meme videos of, Jalen Hurts' rushing highlights. And they're all fucking QB sneaks from the fucking 1 yard line. That's all I'm going to say. Just Jason Kelce deserves that award more than fucking Jalen Hurts does. That's where I'm at with it.
That's where you're at with what?
I think Jason Kelce deserves the award more than Jalen Hurts does at this point.
I don't know about that one, buddy. He's not crossing the line. He's not toting the line and getting the tutty, buddy.
No, but when he takes the ball and moves it up half a yard so they get even closer and then fucking lays out half the people on the opposite side just so this guy can get pushed, not run. He did break a record. I'll give you this. He did break a record. He broke the single season getting pushed into the end zone rushing record. That's exactly what he broke. That's what he broke.
Okay, honestly, I agree. It does not deserve to be celebrated.
So you're just trying to get my blood pressure. You're trying to get my blood pressure going. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I was.
You son of a bitch, dude.
I apologize for nothing. It does not deserve to be. He didn't. He's going 1 yard. And even the fact that Jason Kelce said it in his podcast that he looks at Swift and says, look, you got to get in the end zone or you need to fall at least 2 yards before the end zone for to go run that bad boy in. Because, if you get a yard from the end zone, what play we're running.
Yep, they're tush pushing it. That's what they're doing.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, it works. Nobody can stop it. Why wouldn't you do it?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that let's not pretend like
the main objective
misleading.
Is to win the game.
Of course.
It is misleading. It is misleading. And the only reason is a record is because technically he rushed into the end zone. Okay. Even though he was pushed, I get it, dude. I get it. It's irritating, but that's just what are you can't say that you can't make a statistic of being pushed into the end zone.
I mean,
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I mean, if they keep allowing it, I feel like you should make a separate column. Pushed in touchdown. Pushed in tutty. I don't know. Just saying. So in order to beat the Eagles, all you gotta do is stop them 2 yards short. Is that what we're saying? That's the recipe
Yeah.
for beating the Eagles. You stop them 2 yards short, fucking, you got it in the bag. 1 yard short, you're fucked. All right. Okay. Speaking of fucked, let's talk about Russell Dangerous Wilson. It's not impressive, but I know. Technically, it's a rushing touchdown. I just know it's just not impressive, and it's infuriating that people are celebrating it like the dude discovered fire. That's what it is for me. And they're gonna
Yeah.
look
Okay.
back.
No, I
They're
get
gonna
that.
look back on it one day, and no one's gonna remember. Right? No one's gonna say, "Oh, yeah, he got that because he got pushed in." They're just gonna look at the record books when we're all dead and gone, and the robots are taking over the world. They're gonna pick up the record book and be like, "Dude, Jalen Hurts. I don't know who the fuck this guy was, but he must have been one hell of an athlete to rush these many touchdowns." That's all I'm saying. That's the frustrating part. And
Yeah.
put a little
Yeah.
asterisk, little side.
Okay. A little asterisk. I get that. Okay.
Yeah. Like Barry Bonds' home runs. They're like, yeah, he did it, but steroids. You know what I mean? Like that's all I want.
Okay. But like he did it,
That's all I'm
You
saying.
can't tell me if we're gonna play that card with Barry Bonds, you might as well take away awards for everybody in the 80s and 90s using steroids in the NFL.
Okay. All right.
Is
Hey,
that fair?
As long as OJ Simpson gets in there, that's all that matters.
If
That guy was a
the
killer.
glove does not fit, you must acquit, buddy.
I know, but that guy, he just killed defense.
It's
Now
not
we
the
get to
only
talk
thing he
about.
supposedly killed.
Now we get to talk about my favorite guy. I'm not sure if you know, I absolutely love this guy.
Is it Dangerous Wilson?
It's the cheesiest motherfucker on the face of this planet. This dude might be secretly the worst teammate of all time. I think he's the second biggest piece of shit to play quarterback in the AFC next to Deshaun Watson. This dude just bothers me to no end. He's one of those guys that shows up to like the office party and you just don't like him, but you pretend to because he's fake nice, and that shit bothers me to no hell. I can't stand Russell Wilson. However, with that being said, how'd the man not get benched last year when it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life? And this year they're benching him basically to say, hey, we're going to cut you. We just don't feel like paying you the $35 million extra if you pass the physical next year.
Right, and it's really just about salary adjustments, them not wanting to pay. And I mean, to be fair, he hasn't really produced anything worth getting paid over.
I agree with that.
I don't like it. I don't like it for a player standpoint, but I mean, I understand from an organization standpoint. I mean, you may brought this man in to change the brought him in for the betterment of the company to win Super Bowls, and you're not winning Super Bowls, and Sean Payton obviously doesn't like him.
No, yeah, I don't think Sean Payton's liked him from day one. I'm surprised. Like, I'm surprised Sean Payton took the job knowing he's there. If I'm being honest, like, from a personality, I think Sean Payton's a very like straight shooter, kind of a dick, and Russell Wilson is one of those guys who just seems like he needs everybody to fucking like him, and I can't stand people like that.
Right.
He's washed
and
up.
you know he might be running into the problem.
Yeah.
With this team is the fact that he's just kind of like a loner. He doesn't hang out with the team. He doesn't do anything for the team. He's just there. Comes to work, goes home.
Yeah.
And that's not. And if you look back at like a Joe Flacco interview he did recently, he said when he got to the Browns organization, he said it was a tight knit group. They were all like just a tight knit group of people. They accepted him very quickly, and that's just a good group of guys to play with. And I don't think you could say the same thing about Russell Wilson in any of the organizations he's played in.
Yeah. Marsh2525 commented said, to be fair, Russ has actually had a fairly decent season, and he has. That's not
okay. Yeah, that's fair. I think the block for it is the complete domination ass whooping they got from the Dolphins, and I think that just kind of shadows the entire season for them. But they have been making strides. But I mean, you can't tell me that it's the complete what they thought it was going to be for paying him over $200 million guaranteed contract.
No, I agree with that. I think is it just me or is this a rarity? Because not too often does the business aspect of football actually come into play during the season like this. You know what I mean? I
Right.
don't know how
No.
familiar you are with baseball, BJ, but like way back in the day, they had a thing. I'm not sure you ever heard like the Black Sox scandal, where the team threw the World Series because they didn't like ownership. One of the big
So they
things
threw all
there,
their stocks into the Black Ocean.
exactly what they did, yeah. But one of the big things, the reason they did it was because there were a couple pitchers who were due bonuses if they reached like 12, 13 wins in the season. As soon as they reached 11, they refused to play for like 2 months. They refused to play him. So it's for me, it's kind of weird that the business aspect is coming into play like this. Hold on, dog's trying to destroy one of my daughter's unicorns. Because it's not like they're trying to hide it. They're basically blatantly saying, "Hey, we don't want to pay you. Sit your ass down." They're not trying to hide, and that's the crazy part for me. It's not even like they're trying to like have some kind of deniability with it. They're just straight up being like, "Yeah, we don't want to fucking pay you. You're probably not going to be here next year. Sit your ass down. Let Jason Stidham step up." It's just shocking to me.
You just hate to see that for Russell Wilson, but it's just difficult. I could sit here and say that that sucks for him. They're fucking assholes for doing that. But I mean, they brought you in here for a reason, and you're not doing what they thought you were going to be able to do. And I guarantee you, when they set up that contract like that, that was in the back of their mind, and they're using it to their benefit.
I get that, but to my point, I feel like it just sets a very dangerous precedent for teams to be allowed to be like, yeah, we're doing this because we want to cut you. We want, and I mean, it's like they didn't do it right. To your point, Sean, they didn't do it the right way. I feel like they could have gone a different way about it. They just basically straight out came out and said it. Like it was a very unprofessional way to do it. And that's the problem I have with it. And like I said, I don't like Russell. I think he's kind of a fucking cheeseball. He's kind of a fucking dickhead. He seems fake to me. I refuse to eat any of his sandwiches at Subway. But I feel like they did him. Yeah, they kind of did him dirty. I respect as much as I don't like Russell Wilson. This move makes me respect the Broncos even less.
Yeah, just a shitty situation with a shitty person and a shitty team.
Yeah.
And shitty admin in the office.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could be a Broncos fan at this point. It's awkward.
Yeah,
you're
like,
in the pressers, but not for a good reason, buddy.
It starts here, bro. I'm just surprised. You know what it is, and maybe it hasn't really happened yet, right? He hasn't officially been sat down. Like once kickoff happens, it'll be like, okay, it's official. I want to see if there's anything the NFL comes out and says, or the NFL does, that's kind of like probably not in the press. It'll probably be a closed door type thing where it's like, hey, it's okay to bench a guy. It's not okay to come out and say we're benching him because we don't want to pay him. It's not a good look for him. It's not a good look for Denver. It's not a good look for the NFL. And once it catches on, this is a copycat league. Once one team does something, it's not out of the realm of possibility that other teams start doing it. And I don't think that's good for the NFL. It's really not for their brand. Especially when you know how fucking much they care about how they look to everybody else. They care about that more than most things.
Right.
And yes, this is a unicorn. The dog's trying to destroy it. But yeah, I mean, what's Denver's record? Aren't they like? I think they had a streak
7-7.
Yeah, I know they had a streak there. Like I think.
I don't know if they lost their last game.
When they
or not.
beat the Chiefs this year, wasn't it like the first time they beat the Chiefs since like 2015? Like he's done some decent things there for them this year. Not like as much as you paid him, not really worth that, but he's done some decent things. They are 7-8. They're still 10. Well, I guess not technically, because the Chiefs are 9-6. There's only 2 weeks. Well, no, there's 2 weeks left to go. They could technically, if they win those last 2 games and the Chiefs lost, would they be the division winner since they beat them? Or they must have a tiebreaker that doesn't matter. It's just to sit.
It might be a tiebreaker.
It's got to be. I feel like it's got to be. Otherwise, why would you?
I think the Chiefs have beat the Broncos once this year, and the Broncos beat them the second time.
The Broncos beat them the second time, but they almost beat them both times. Because I remember you were like, "Oh, they're going to beat them," and they didn't. But then the second time they did beat them.
Whoa! I don't remember all this, sir. I'm pretty sure I called it correct.
No, you said Denver's going to beat them twice. They only beat them once, but it was pretty special. It was still pretty special.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're losing your mind.
I'm not losing my mind. I'm just stating facts. If you can't remember them correctly, that's on you.
All right, Justin. It's that time of the evening.
What we got?
I believe we have some awards to give out.
Oh, yes. BJ and his golden griddle. I wish I had a horn to play so I could be like, brr, 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 but I don't. So,
I thought you. Are you? Am I doing mine or are you doing yours?
You're doing yours. Oh, wait. Oh, I got yours first. My bad. You want me to do mine first? You want to do yours?
Yeah, you go first. You go first.
All right. We're switching it up. Fuck the golden griddle. Amen, brother. We're going the Frenzy Feather Award. Now, me and Beefy talked about doing these every week. People who we're not including Thursday Night Football. I mean, you can if you want to, but just people who impressed the last week. And I know he's going to give me so much shit because he says how much of a homer I am and things of that nature. I'm going with the Ravens defense, but in particular, Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton. And the reason I say this is that this boy, I don't know about people you talk to, but here in this city, there were a lot of people who dogged Kyle Hamilton when we drafted him. They were kind of like, he doesn't really fit in the position. He's not a huge playmaker, yada, yada, yada. But I'll tell you what, I have yet to see a player on the field that consistently has a motor that this kid has. He does not give up until the whistle is blown. He refuses to give up. They move him around all the time. He comes off the edge. He's great off the edge, rushing the passer. He does a great job in run coverage. And I'll tell you what, when he's not on the field, it is a huge difference in this team. Like, San Francisco started to mount a little comeback after he got hurt. After he came off the field with his little knee injury, San Francisco started moving that ball consistently with Sam Darnold at quarterback. Kyle Hamilton in that Ravens defense is what I believe will give the Ravens a shot to go all the way. They play a physical brand of football. It's AFC North type football, but of course so do the Browns. I'll tell you what, the Ravens defense in particular this season, I thought that their biggest issue was going to be the secondary. I thought they went out and got Clowney. They helped with that pass rush. The linebackers were solid with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. I thought opposite of Marlon Humphrey, who's going to be the other guy? What are they going to do in the secondary? Kyle Hamilton has answered not only one of those questions, he has been a absolute glue that's held that defense together outside of Roquan Smith, without a doubt. And that's why for this week's Frenzy Feather Award, I'm giving it to Kyle. Easily.
Fair. That's fair. I agree. Kyle Hamilton is definitely one of the many backbones of the Ravens defense.
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing. I appreciate that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, but more importantly, here this evening, we are going to introduce the award of awards because it is golden and it is a griddle, has the hottest player/players in the NFL this week or last week. I'm going with this week. I'm going with last night's game. I could say simply the Cleveland Browns defense, and I want this stated right here, right now. I am not a Brownie fan. I have no allegiance to anyone currently right now. Whoever Brock Bowers gets drafted to is going to be my team next year.
Yeah, that's his stipulation. Whoever gets
Brock Bowers what you're thinking. Going. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I should be an Atlanta Falcons fan, but I'm not, okay? I've never really trended towards any NFL team. I liked the Giants there for a little while when I was younger, but that was neither here nor there. I've since recently stopped watching the NFL, picked it back up this year. I've been balls to the wall with it, keeping up with analysts, keeping up with every game, keeping up with news, the hottest sports news, football news. What are you giggling about over there, Giggles McGee?
Nothing. I'm loving it. I'm loving this segment. It's my favorite segment so far.
Yeah. Anyway, now that you got that little short story, let's get into it. I could easily say the Cleveland Browns, but out of the whole defense as in general, I saw two people the most. And I know what you're thinking, Myles Garrett. It isn't Myles Garrett. He did have a hell of a game last night, but it wasn't him either. I'm giving this award today to the first one, Greg Newsome the second. number 0 for the Cleveland Browns, was flying around to the ball, and he was always getting tailed behind by number 6, Jeremiah Owusu-Komora.
Don't ask me to spell that one.
Koromoa. Owusu-Komora. These two guys were flying around to the ball. They were making great plays, driving the running backs back towards the center of the field, setting it up for the defense. It was absolutely electric to watch these two guys, and that's why this week these two guys win the Golden Griddle Award. Congratulations, boys. Round of applause.
A solid. Those are two good players. I agree with you. They were, without a doubt, around the ball.
Can't tell me you did not see number 0 and number 6 flying around.
I did. They had a nose for the football, without a doubt. 100%. 100%. I was waiting for you to be Dick Ride Flacco. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's where I thought you were going.
Well, I could have easily, but that was just too easy. And those guys, to me, just stood out last night. Played a hell of a ball game. I know it's against the Jets. I don't want to take that away from them. I'm sure they do it on a weekly basis, but those two really just popped out to me last night.
Yeah, I agree. Cleveland's defense is, like I said, like I said earlier, the only team that scares me in the AFC is Cleveland, and it's not because they're a good team, but they're also right now one of the hottest teams, and that defense is a huge part of it. Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, Newsome, whatever. Whatever boggle word, whatever fake boggle word you just said.
Say it with me.
Name was. Yeah.
Owusu.
Oh, Owusu.
Hold on. I gotta
He's looking at the pronunciation.
No. I wrote it down. All right, Jeremiah. You can say that one.
Okay, Jeremiah. I got that
one. Owusu.
Koromoa.
Owusu
Koromoa. I'm not gonna remember that, but I appreciate you walking me through that hooked on phonics stuff.
You're welcome.
Well, playoffs are around the corner. We got this week, next week. We're doing Monday night's game, correct, BJ?
Yeah.
We're not doing Sunday night because it's New Year's Eve, and I'm sure I'll be 3 sheets to the wind. Beefy's probably going to get drugged too. He's going to get drugged to a party probably.
That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, so we're not going to do Sunday night's game, but we will be doing Monday night's game. So I'm looking forward to that. Beefy, as he said earlier, he doesn't have any allegiance to any team. However, I know I'm a little biased, but I try not to be. I'm getting better.
Gotta keep him honest.
I'm getting better. But I look forward to another week. We'll be back again, like I said, Monday night. And then Thursday night, we'll be doing Thursday Night Football. And then we'll be back again with another weekly show on Friday. We're going to try to do these every week, starting around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We started a little early today, which I was surprised with. But I was glad to get it in, get it done, get it out. If you missed the show, it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, Ruffle Feather Sports. I'm not sure if BJ's going to post his copy to the Griddle. I'm not sure. You have YouTube, Beef?
Not currently. We're working on it.
Okay. All right. He's working on that. So I said you can at least catch this pretty face on YouTube. I should have it
now
uploaded.
Just on Twitch.
Yeah, for right now we're just on Twitch. Okay. All right. And TikTok. You're also on TikTok. We're both on TikTok. But until next time, BJ, anything you want to say to the beautiful Twitch crowd out there?
Yo, thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you for the comments. Thank you everybody in the chat, my chat, your chat, every chat. It's been a beautiful season and it's not over yet. Let's get together, enjoy some fucking football on Monday, everyone. You stay beautiful. I'm out.
I love it. And then for me, guys, one thing I would like to add, I'm going to say is that if you guys have Twitter and you have any questions that you want asked on the show, feel free to send them to my Twitter. Feel free to whisper me here on Twitch. Always welcome to have an open conversation, things of that nature. So until next time, you guys, try not to ruffle any feathers. We'll see you.